Okay, so now that we know how to solve systems of linear equations by graphing, substitution, and the addition method, now we're just going to construct these systems. And this is basically just kind of the big picture here, right? You're going to be given a word problem, right? English sentences, and then you're going to translate, right, it into a system of linear equations, right, where you are finding, right, your A, B, C, D, E, and F, and X and Y are unknowns. And then you're going to solve the system, right, choosing any method you prefer. And here are just some, again, guidelines to help you solve these word problems. So make sure you identify, right, what you're looking for. Again, most of the time students have trouble with word problems because they don't know what they're looking for. So ask yourself, what am I looking for? Step 2, right, define your unknowns, right? If you're looking for the number of gallons to put in your car, gallons of gas you're going to put in your car, let X be that number, or N be that number. And again, here is the challenge here is to translate this this system, right? Translate the English sentences to construct a system of linear equations. And then finally, step 4 and 5, right? This is what you've been working on. You're either going to solve this system by substitution or elimination. And then finally, you're going to check your answer with both equations, right? It has to satisfy both equations. And of course, ask yourself if this makes sense. I don't have a handout for this specific problem or this page, but you can go ahead and write it down. It's really not that long, and I think it's important that you actually write this down. It's just going to help you remember the steps, especially for your test. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and start the examples. Okay, so the first example, a student bought a calculator and a textbook for a course in algebra. He told a friend that the total cost was $170 without tax, and the calculator cost $20 more than twice the cost of the textbook. What was the cost of each item? So again, we're going to use the guidelines from the last video. So step 1 is identify. Okay, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for the cost of each item, right? Well, what are the two items that we have? So we're looking for the cost of what? Of the calculator, right? And we're also looking for the cost of the textbook. Okay, so again, this is 2 points already just on your test by writing this information, because again, this tells me, when you write things down, this tells me that you know what you're looking for, or at least observed what the unknown is. Okay, so step 2 from your guidelines are define your unknowns. Okay, so define your unknowns. Okay, well, what are your unknowns? What don't we know? Well, we just identified that in this previous step, right? Well, specifically the cost, right, of these items. So the cost of a calculator, you can use X and Y. I'm just going to let, C be the cost of the calculator, just so I don't have to write cost of a calculator every single time. And then similarly, I'm going to let, I don't know, maybe T be equal the cost of the textbook. Okay, so we've defined our unknowns. That's another 2 points. And let's see, what else do we have? So let me write step 3. Step 3 is translate, okay, or in other words, construct your system of linear equations. So what do we have? Let's see. We have, okay, so calculator, textbook, and algebra. He told a friend that the cost of well, the total cost, right, for both was $170. Okay, so that right there, the total cost was $170, the total. So I know that one of my equations, right, that's going to be equal to 170. Well, what adds up to 170? The cost of the calculator plus the cost of the textbook. Again, if you want to use X and Y, that's fine. So I just wrote C plus T equals 170. And then what else do we know, right? Well, we have one equation, and we need the other equation, right? There's our A, B, C. And so what else do we have? We have other information, which is right here. So this is the first linear equation. And the calculator, okay, the calculator is, well, we're talking about the cost of the calculator. So the calculator cost $20 more than twice the cost of the textbook. So if we translate that, so let me make this a little bit smaller, and you can, well, ignore this part. I've used this problem for a different class. So let's see. Let me make that smaller just so you can see everything. So if we translate this, the cost of the calculator is $20 more than, so maybe let's make it blue. The calculator costs $20 more, $20 more than twice the cost of the textbook. So maybe 2T, right? Maybe make that blue, right? So whatever the textbook is, we just double it and then add 20, and that's what the calculator cost would be. So here's our system of linear equations, and again, you have a choice of how you want to solve this system. So let me make this a little bit bigger. And if we solve our system, I would solve this by substitution, just because it's ready to go, right? It's already solved for a variable. So, I mean, we can just substitute it. So again, I'm using substitution. And if we plug in that C, we get 2T plus 20, right? That's our C. Plus T equals 170. And combine like terms, we get 3T. And if I subtract the 20 from both sides, I get 150. And 3 times what is 150? Well, you can write it out, right? Or if you want, you can just divide on your calculator. 150 divided by 3, which we know is 50. Okay, 50 what? Well, what were we looking for? We were looking for the cost, right, of a calculator. We're talking about money. So this represents $50. Well, so the textbook is $50. Well, how much does the calculator cost? Well, the calculator, right, now we're doing our back substitution, right, that you've been learning the last few days or reviewing. 2 times, well, let's keep this just the same color here. So 2 times what plus 20? And, well, 2 times 50, and that's 100, plus 20 is 120. So the cost of your textbook is $50. The cost of your calculator is 120. So this probably is a graphing calculator, because those are usually over $100. And then finally, if you want to check, right, 50 plus 120, 50 plus, 120 is $170. And then you can check this guy, right? C is 120, 2 times, 50 plus 20. And it is, right? That's 100 plus 20 is 120. So they both check, and it makes sense.